Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are here. Where are we? Not Chicago.
Someplace like that. We're in Chicago, in
We're
Naperville.
in Naperville, Illinois.
Is Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, and we are here for a pastor's conference. I'm maxed out on pastor's conferences for this year.
We actually have done it twice in just a few months, a couple months, which we don't usually do it, two of them that close together. We used to a long time ago have one in the spring, one in the fall. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a lot, but it's been good. We're actually here with our team, or some of our team, our leadership team, which is 3 other couples with us right now. And it has been an adventure, let me tell you. Those are wild people. No, I'm just kidding. You
know yourself.
We came in 2 different cars, so it's 4 couples. And we were driving, we left after church Sunday, which was exhausting. What happened?
Just a little bit over halfway point, cruising on the interstate at 76 miles an hour. You know, they say you should go 5 over, but I was going 6 over.
Oh boy, you're telling on yourself.
I'm telling on myself, although I did hear a trooper once said, you know, when you're in the freeway right there, no traffic, you know, they'll let you go if you go 8.
What? Okay, don't say that publicly, man.
No. He said, 8 you're great, 9 you're mine. But
we don't follow that.
No, I'm kidding.
We always go under the
Yeah. So, but you're driving that fast on the interstate, and all of a sudden I felt like my car just pulled over to the side of the road. I had to kind of start to control it. I knew something was bad. Gently pulled over to the side of the road. I mean, the semis are just passing you like wild. And I had just a breakdown in the car, and the tire was all bent over.
We were in his new to us, but it is newish.
It's a truck, yeah. It's 3 years old, you know, so you don't expect to have an issue, a major issue on a car that's not that old.
It was dark because it was 5:30.
Yes. And we were in between Iowa City and Des Moines.
Yes.
Almost dead center, both ways, you know, so.
It was a little town called Grinnell, Iowa. I'd never heard of it before, but.
Now you'll never forget about Grinnell.
No, I'm gonna turn that air up so it stops coming on. Well, you keep going, tell.
What do you do at that point? We knew it was one of those things that we have to get towed. That was like no question. You had to get towed. Then it was Sunday night, so everything's closed. You're looking for a rental car, can't get a rental car. We're looking both in Iowa City and Des Moines, you know.
It brought back a lot of memories of that RV trip it broke down. We were filming that.
Yeah,
and it was a Sunday night. We lost a tire and it was impossible to get help. The tire was actually like crooked. It was still on. Very close to falling off.
Yeah, and you can tell it's very, it would have fallen off if I hadn't been able to pull over as quickly and immediately as I did. Yeah, so it would have come off.
We felt very thankful to walk away with our lives.
And I was like, wow.
And we were caravanning with another car with 2 couples. So they pulled over right away and we tried to work the situation. It was hard. It was rough.
I had just preached a sermon.
Stop doing that.
That said, you know, even when you're getting adversity and situations that are tough, you know, you need to keep your praise on. Just be, you know, like Paul and Silas in the Bible when they got thrown into prison for where they didn't deserve to. In the middle of the night, they're singing praises to God. I'm like, oh boy.
You were challenged.
I was challenged to leave my own sermon. And it's like, you know what, I'm keeping a great attitude through this whole thing and start looking through all the things that could have gone wrong and that didn't. And so we started counting my blessing and keeping a good attitude.
Actually, everybody did. We were laughing and having a good time, even though it was very difficult to figure out how to solve the problems.
Yeah, it took us a while to even figure out what to do next. We eventually called Iowa State Patrol, and the guy came over later. Maybe it took him about 30 minutes for the cop to come. Yeah, it was a sheriff. It was a sheriff. And so he helped us get a tow truck from a local tow truck, and they came, hauled the truck. And
so Dustin, our friend that was in our car, Dustin and Heather were the other couple, and we have known them forever. They were like a part of our church when we first started, and so she was the matron of honor in my wedding. I was the maid of honor in her wedding, and we're just good friends. So we were just we're stuck together. We sent the other car on so they could come to the conference because we weren't even sure if we would be able to come.
Yeah.
And then we ended up, the boys rode with the tow truck, and Heather and I rode in the in the sheriff's car.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Solo was getting pictures. He didn't get a very good one of me, but
yours was blurry. But
we had a gun this big in between us. the officer was so
He was so
nice.
helpful. He was so helpful. And I got his name, but I couldn't remember. You know how everything is happening. As I'm getting out of the car, he got called to an accident. So I didn't even get... I know we thanked him profusely, but I'm going to search him out. And that guy deserves a promotion, a medal. He was so kind and helpful.
Yeah, so we stayed at a sketchy hotel that night.
And I won't say which one it was. But
and we walked like 25 minutes to a restaurant and then walked back. You know, it's so pitch black when it's 7:30 at night here. I mean... in the winter,
after the
dark.
time change.
There was no sidewalk or anything, so we were like, it was an adventure.
It was.
And
there were no Ubers or Lyft. I was like, I asked the hotel, do you guys have a shuttle? No. Did I say any Uber here? No. It's like nothing.
Everything was
no.
So, but we were very thankful that the officer told us if we had been just a little east, had gone a little farther, it would have been very difficult to get our truck there, and just because of where the next exit was, we were right on an exit.
Although it was the opposite side, because of the patrol, he actually blocked the road off for us so that the guy would actually back in all the way back to the street, which is like made it way easier.
Yeah.
I'm sure it saved us money too.
It was so crazy, but well, I think all four of us were just like, and the other car that went ahead, we're people that are like, okay, what went well? Like the Lord knew right where, you know, it was the right spot. The Lord saved our very lives. And we could just only be thankful, even though we had no idea what was next. We didn't know if we were going back home or what.
Obviously, the thing that broke in the car was something that was actually already wrong in the car, and I had no idea. And so it could have really been bad. It could have really been bad. But
so we're sitting at a Mexican restaurant, and it was Sunday night, and that's usually the night we talk to Judah. And so he's texting us, and he's like, Nana just told me what happened, and you guys are 50 minutes away from Rebecca's house. And Rebecca's a girl on the team that is from our friend's church in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We thought we were hours away from Cedar Rapids. I don't know. We didn't even look it up because the pastor there, Christian, he's a good friend of ours, especially Solos.
Yeah, I didn't call him the night before because I thought he was maybe 2 hours away. Didn't realize it was just about an hour from where we were. And so I texted him and says, hey, we're in your neighborhood with a broken car. And he's like, what? He just gave me a call. And he says, yeah, it's only an hour. And so he goes, how are you going to get to the dealership? I was like, I think we're going to walk. I might just have to walk maybe 30 minutes.
The next morning
when they open. And he goes, no, I'll be right there. Just, so he was there. Pastor Christian, you're the best.
Yes.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
We always say he's got the best church in Cedar Rapids, and he always goes,
I think the fifth best. Yeah. So, but it is the best church in Cedar Rapids. It's awesome. So if you're moving or leaving Cedar Rapids, looking for a place.
And they have a young lady on the Japan team with our son.
Yeah. So he helped us out. We drove around town, talked to different places, and finally we figured out a game plan for the car. It's at a dealership, but it would take some days to actually get it fixed.
Yeah, you might not be coming home with me.
No, I don't think. It probably will not be coming home.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way. I'll probably spend one night in Iowa.
Yeah.
And then drive.
In Grinnell, Iowa. No, or Cedar Rapids.
I'll stay in Cedar Rapids.
I'm sure Grinnell's lovely.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
No, actually, one thing I found in the morning when we were driving around, we found the coolest coffee shop, and the people are so friendly in Grinnell.
Small towns are awesome.
They are very friendly. Everyone was so nice in the town. So I don't want to put down Grinnell. It was a good town.
That morning was crazy though. We still weren't sure. Are we going to the conference? Are we not? We ended up because for a while they were like, oh, maybe we can't fix it. It was just.
Everything was up in the air.
Hours of like, we're just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Finally we were on our way.
Yeah, when it became so clear that there is no way it would be done during that time of the conference. It would be definitely after. And we were only 2 hours at this point because we moved farther, another hour. Pastor Christian, my buddy there, he gave us their van. They have 2 vans. He says, use my van, drop it off on your way back home.
Yeah.
So they gave us a van to use. We didn't even have to rent a car.
I know, though, like 45 minutes from his house on the way to Chicago, finally we're still like, Lord, if we shouldn't be going.
Let us know.
One more thing you're gonna tell us.
And I'm not superstitious, but I said I'm not driving, and I don't have a good track record on the road right now. So our friends drove.
Oh man, yeah, we had something happen to our van that same day with the van tire, and the kids were calling us about it. So that's
but Mina, less than an hour after we got on the road, they had a tire issue with our van.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this is a
two
weird
car
day.
things in one day. So
yeah.
Anyway, we made it here. We missed the first session or something, not too much. And we got to meet up with the rest of our team. We don't have a resolution to the story because we have not gone back yet. Our car is still somewhere in the middle of Iowa, and we are here. And, so that's
thankfully it's at a dealership. I think at least a reputable dealership, and then so hopefully
it's still there when we get there.
Yeah, they were very helpful, and I know they literally fitted us in. So because I could tell they didn't have the techs that worked with my type of truck. Like, was not even there. It was going to be like a few days later before they could even look at it. But somehow they made it happen. We're able to figure out what the problem was. We're waiting because they have to order the parts. And my truck is raised, so it has some specialized thing that they needed. So it needed a special order to get it in. So I'm like, what kind of lift do you have? Like, what kind of lift? Are you kidding me?
He's like, I didn't put it in.
I didn't put it in. I just thought the truck was cool. It looked really nice. I'm like, that's what.
Can you tell we're not car people? Anyway, it's all good. But we wanted to tell you, just give you an update. We didn't intend to have a big story to tell you, fun story, but here we are. My mom's at home with the kids, by the way, and when you see this
but would already be home, yeah.
We wanted to give you a house update. The last time I sat down and did a Q&A, I was running to sign papers for a rental to rent our house. We signed with a lovely couple that we really liked, and at the same time our realtor was like calling us, I have somebody that's really interested in offering.
I've been interested for a while,
And so it was kind of confusing, but we felt like we're just walking through the doors that the Lord's opening, and we just needed to not be sitting there empty anymore.
Yeah. It either needs to sell or be generating revenue.
Yeah. So we went and showed the couple the house. They had seen it once before, and they gave us checks, and
we did everything.
Signed papers. We felt fine about it, but
somewhat.
The only thing that was weird was that the realtor was like, I got all this stuff going, so you're like, oh Lord, are we getting it right? The Lord doesn't always speak audibly like, do this, and so sometimes you just got to push on doors that He's showing you and see.
We pray, Lord, close the doors that need to be closed, open the doors that need to be opened, so, and then taking the next step and the next step. Sometimes we made decisions so you're like, and you know what you should be doing. Okay, this one, everything seemed okay, and everything seemed to fall into place. But there's just a tiny check as to, is this really the right move? Then
you can wonder, is it just because we have never been landlords before? Because we haven't.
No, we've never.
Of our RV only.
Yeah, and it's not the way we wanted this whole situation to go.
No.
Yeah, so, but keeping our minds open, trying to think, okay, maybe there's a possibility here. And we've talked to people that rent and have done, and there's always good and bad stories,
Yeah.
And you weigh in your options, your pluses and minuses.
Yeah, we talked to friends who've done it, and we got equal good and bad stories. So.
Actually, yeah, most of them are good.
Yeah.
Just with a few exceptions if you have to put it on a scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was good, and it was more than one person that was interested in renting. So, and it's just that there are not many big homes available for rent. And I realized, maybe it's a niche market that just in the times that we're living, there are people that are not ready to commit. They can afford a new big.
The times, as in the interest rate we're living in.
right, yeah, exactly. So people that can afford big payment, and they need big space, but they can't find. We were in the same situation at one point.
Yeah.
From our last time, you remember we were gonna build a house about 10 years ago, but we couldn't get a rental, and we were gonna get a rental because we had already sold our house.
That's right.
And we're gonna get a rental while our house is getting built, and we couldn't find one that was big enough for our family.
We even looked into doing 2 apartments next to each other, and we only had small kids, so it was like,
so it is it can be a real problem when people need it short term, and that's kind of what we wanted. So anyway.
So that night, after Solo called me and told me what the realtor had said, and I'm like, let's just pray that this couple who loved
The house, yeah.
Even I remember
especially the wife liked it a lot.
Her husband saying, "I've never seen her this excited about
She's
a
like,
house."
this is just gonna be perfect for us.
They were so excited.
We took the security deposit, first month's check, but I felt not to deposit or cash it, whatever. I kept it on my desk.
Yeah. So we said, okay, let's just pray that if it's not the right thing, that they back out tomorrow morning.
Because we wouldn't do that to them.
Specifically tomorrow morning. Yeah, we were committed. That they back out tomorrow morning, and which just seemed like inconceivable, having just seen them from that.
In fact, they were pushing it quick, more than we would have gone on a slower pace. They were like, hey, we know, You know, I mean, they were really excited about it.
Yeah. But sure enough, the next morning at 10 a.m., he gets a text. They had wanted a longer lease, more than a year, and we weren't comfortable with that. And they said, we're just not feeling good about that. And so they backed out. And I just felt like, how did you feel? I felt like such a relief, like, wow. Not that they backed out, but the Lord had answered our prayers so specifically and just kept us in his will for our lives and what we needed to do next. Like, it's just always a relief when you're reminded that the Lord is in control. And we were just like, okay, God, whatever, we're doing the next step, but you stop it. And he did. Yeah.
They knew for a fact they did not want to have to move in another year. And they thought, if things have changed, we might be able to buy the house in a year from you. But what if we are not able to do that at that time? Would you give us a longer lease, at least give us 2 years? And I just didn't want to be held to that. I said, we
were in it to sell our house, so this is already a mind shift to rent it,
Yeah, it's like renting in itself is a shift for us, like she said, so I just could not give him a 2-year lease. Yeah. If it's a business premise, one thing. Residence, no.
All that to say that, okay, we don't have a resolution yet. We don't know exactly what's happening with our house.
Thing? Yeah.
We're not coming to you with the end of the story, but in our own minds, I think in mine, let me speak for myself. I was just like, okay, Lord, you're in control. Because sometimes you can look back. I don't know if you're like this, but you can look back, I guess whether you're a believer or not, and think, wow, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
It's so easy to look back. Like, we look back, we're like, we should have put our house on the market right when we bought that property. The interest rates were low. Houses in our neighborhood were selling like this. We've been watching a number of houses at our same price range that are not brand new builds since the beginning of summer, even late spring, that have not sold. Even earlier than ours,
they're
not selling at all.
There are two things I've just even looked deeper beyond the rate situation. The other thing I noticed, I was just analyzing our tax data from our county when it comes to just your county assessment. Well, that's another factor, because for those 5 years where it seemed like the housing market was really going up, our county, and I don't know how the case is for other places around the country, but our county had raised tax assessment on properties 3 times in a span of 5 years. So that goes into also the payment. So not only are people dealing with high interest rates, they're also dealing with high assessed values, and so the taxes on that payment is high. So it's making it very difficult for people to actually afford a home that they would have easily been able to go into 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
you can look back and think, where did we go wrong? Where did we miss God? And to me, when the Lord intervenes in my life in a situation like that, it's just a reminder that he is in control. I'm not. We didn't miss God. He's planning it out in his perfect way.
One day will make sense.
And we don't have to understand it all right now. We don't have an answer. We don't have an answer for you. We don't have an answer for ourselves.
That's life. Yeah.
We don't know how we're getting our car again.
You don't always know all the answers.
We don't have an answer for all of the situations that we're sharing today, but just to give you an update and tell you it's okay not to have the answers. We can still walk with joy and know that. I keep reminding myself, okay, it's been a tight year because we're holding 2 homes. And we have one sitting there empty, and we're crowded in ours. So he's always reminding me, we got a big house over there.
Like, if we could just take this house, pick it up, and drop it in our property right now, we'll have a good life.
Yeah, and we'd be building if we sold. We'd already would have started our building process probably, and
now we're gonna hold on that until things happen.
Yes, but it's okay because we can have joy in the moment and know, the Lord's provided. We haven't gone under this fall. You know what I mean? And so we can be thankful for that. Like, oh, Lord, you're in control and you provided for what we need. It may not be like what our ideal situation is, but that doesn't matter. I don't want mine. I want whatever he's planning.
Well, and then there's always the issue that actually Jesus taught about this, talking about how, what good would worrying do? It's not that you can't be concerned.
So true.
But it's you can't even add 1 inch to your height.
You can add an ulcer.
But you could add an ulcer. So it's like, no, there's no need to worry when you are in a predicament. You're not in a situation that you want to, and so that's kind of how our faith is tested on you. You just have to choose.
It's the same with the car.
You have to choose to joy. You have to choose to be happy.
Look for the ways the Lord has moved.
It's a deliberate choice to choose joy in the midst of adversity, because even if you choose worry, it doesn't change the circumstance. So now you still have a difficult thing you're dealing with, plus more stress. So might as well be happy and go with the flow and trust God. And that's where faith comes in. It's like, Lord, we're trusting you with our lives. We'll keep on praying and keeping a good attitude and knowing that the better days are yet to come.
I remember at one point we're like, oh man, how much is this going to cost? And how are we going to get this done? And then I was like, we just stopped and we're like, hey, we are still alive. We're healthy. Our kids are fine. It's just like, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you for your protection.
Yes.
I mean,
it happened. Even the sheriff was like, it happened at the right exact spot. So
it could have been a lot worse. And I tell you what, even just when I was pulling over, struggling to get the car far enough from the road because those semis were cruising there.
A lot of traffic.
It was really close. And I'm like, wow. If I just slowed down abruptly, lost a tire, and someone was right behind you with heavy machinery like that going 70 miles an hour, it could have just been really bad. And so, hey, I'm counting my blessing.
Anyway, we just wanted to update you on the house. We'll come back and tell you more about the house next week.
Pray for us. If you believe in prayer.
Next week we're gonna film together again if we can find the time. And I really want to address a question from a sweet lady we got in Australia. She asked the question that's been asked before, but we've never answered really, what we think about family size and allowing the Lord.
Isn't pretty obvious what we think about family size?
I think people would be not family size, like if we what did she say? If the Lord decides our family size, that's what if we have
like God if we have any say about it.
I think so. So we're going to answer that question. We've never really answered that before, and I think you might be surprised. So check back next week, Tuesday, and we'll hopefully have that. If not, it'll be coming soon, and that just means we didn't have a quiet space to fill. So thank you guys for watching, for being here. I hope you have it if you're in the United States. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you in the next video.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.